Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV. We carry on talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby and, of course, Western Province Rugby. And as you know, slowly, things are getting back on track. Very slowly. We'll still wait and see what all the regulations say. But at least the Stormers are playing, and our DHL Western Province Rugby under-21 side is also playing. But one of the components that has been very active in all sports, around the world, in fact, has been the digital, the online component of sports, the esports section. And that's been so exciting. And you will remember that it was a few weeks ago that we spoke to Junaid Moerat from Western Province Rugby, who was telling us about the 3 teams, 1 city Esports Challenge. And we've got Junaid back on the line now, because we of course had to find out how things went. Junaid, great to have you back on the show, man. Yeah, how are things there with you?
JP, I'm good, thank you. How are you? It's good to be back after lockdown, and good to be talking to you again.
Yeah, no, we're still very much stuck in the same boat of where we were for the last 6 months. We still don't have any club rugby back in action, but it's been up to guys like yourself that have been busy with Zoom calls and conference calls and training online, and of course esports.
Yeah, look, it's been a challenging sort of 6 months for everybody, but you know, we had to take the initiative and obviously improvise and innovate, which is what we've done. And I see there's a lot of clubs that have also been doing it, and you know, having training sessions online, etc. So obviously we started focusing on the esports aspect of you know, getting the franchise and getting the players involved and fans. So it was some stuff we were looking at, and obviously we're getting to the business end of it, and we're looking to expand and getting to some new stuff. So it's good to be chatting about it and you know, informing the guys on what's happening out there.
Let's go back a few months now. I think that there's probably still lots of moms and dads that are watching the show, and they're watching us for the first time, and they're going, esports? What is esports? And so maybe give us a quick wrap. I mean, you're very involved in the digital side, the electronic side. Give us a quick snapshot of how do we define esports? What is esports? When we talk about esports, what are we talking about?
Right. So basically, it's guys that are playing, and I'll put it in layman's terms. So it's guys that are playing video games and they're playing each other. So when we were kids, we were sitting at home with your friends and your cousins and everyone sitting, and you're basically playing each other, whether you're playing FIFA 20 or whether you're playing the rugby game, and you know, you would have your own little competition of oaks competing on a video game. So what has happened since then is the video game space has morphed into what you call esports, and you've got people playing it professionally. You've got athletes that are getting paid to play it. It's become a full-time thing, similar to our professional athletes, our professional rugby players, our professional cricketers, you know, or soccer players. They are now professional esports players that do it 24/7.
This is, of course, now a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. Different sport codes, PlayStation, Xbox, and like you say, almost an entire high-performance component to it, with millions of people around the world playing online games with each other.
No, correct. I mean, it's probably the fastest growing sport currently in the world, and also because the demographic is quite broad. So you've got your teenagers playing, and even those that are a bit younger, and then you've got your 30, 40, 50-year-olds also gaming. And what makes it exciting is that you now have professional franchises like your Manchester Cities and your Barcelonas who have professional esports teams. So they contract esports players that play for the brand. You know, they represent the brand, they get paid a salary, and they would play against any of the other franchises. So it now allows you to play sort of cross-code. So you might have a Stormers team, but you can go and play against the Cobras, or you know, against Cape Town City, or against any other sporting code, if they also have a professional team that you can compete against.
And that's exactly what you've done. There's 3 teams, 1 city. It's the Stormers against the Cobras against Cape Town City.
Correct. That is exactly, obviously, when we spoke, I think it was a few months ago when we just launched this thing. Obviously, it was new. There's lots of hiccups. There's learning curves, and you know, we all obviously we grow into it, and you know, we we had some teething issues. We had a time where there was load shedding, and obviously this all happens online. So you've got a guy sitting in Johannesburg that needs to play a guy in Cape Town, but it's load shedding in Joburg. So the fixture can't take place. And so those things, obviously those are teething issues that is also learning curves.
Yeah.
But we're sort of at the business end now. We're getting to our semi-finals. And we're getting into the swing of things. Yeah.
So just tell us what that was. Then the three teams, one city. It was of course the Stormers up against Cape Town City, and of course the Cobras. And you had players representing each team playing against each other, going through a competition format.
Correct. So how it started was each of the three sort of, let's call them franchises, which is City, Cobras, and Stormers, had their Esports Challenge, which served as qualifiers for 3 teams, 1 city. So you had fans that were playing, and we had anywhere between 400 and 500 people that actually entered across the 3 franchises. We then ended up with a top 8 in each of the franchises. They then came into one sort of competition league format, where we identified a top 16. And of that 16, obviously, it's split between guys that came through the Stormers qualifiers or City, and those top 16 then competed to where we now have a semi-finals.
Have we got any idea who the top guys are? I mean, I know that you say some of the Stormers players also playing.
Look, yeah. So we had guys like Damien and Jaco Coetzee, Jean-Ro Augustus. That also partook, so obviously they had a chance to play against some of the fans. We got to be honest, there were some really pro FIFA players. I think of the top 5 FIFA 20 players in the country that partook, and some of our Stormers pro rugby players got 7, 8, 9, and 10 0s on PlayStation and Xbox. So it's really, I mean, you could see the difference between, oaks that play for fun, that are good, and then professional players in the esports space.
Well, that's great fun. I mean, Junaid, and of course the fact that you can do this during the lockdown and with the restrictions in place, it really does give an opportunity for people to stay engaged with the Stormers brand. It gives an opportunity for the Stormers players themselves to be interactive and stay busy. Of course, they're playing now, but the timing was of course good. So this also helps with the sort of the connection of keeping rugby active.
No, I mean, of course, we were in lockdown, and I mean, everyone else was sitting at home, didn't know what to do, and the idea was to sort of try and get some traction for the brand, for some sponsors, get some people involved, get fans to interact with the players, and I think from here it can just sort of go forward and grow from strength to strength and actually become a permanent fixture on our calendar.
Junaid, we obviously have to, as we're heading into the finals now, we know you guys are about to make an announcement on the finals. In fact, I believe that might have been on your Facebook page already. But can you give us an idea who will be in the finals, or how are we doing?
Yeah, so as mentioned, obviously we had the semi-finals. So we've got a finalist in PlayStation 4 as well as a finalist in the Xbox. So representing the Stormers on PlayStation would be Zuhair Abrams. And on Xbox, it's Divac Danji. So Zuhair's from Cape Town, Divac's in Joburg. So you could see, I mean, guys were across the country playing, and they were playing online. So, we've got oaks from all over the country that are playing. So we want to wish them well, representing the Stormers, and hopefully we can come out winners in the end.
Well, hopefully we can get the winner, provided there's a Stormers player on TV with us.
Oh, James, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Junaid. We'll catch up with you again soon, and we're looking forward to find out what the results are from the finals.
Thanks a lot, man. Keep up.
There we go, folks. Junaid Moerat, of course, Western Province Rugby. Very exciting. Great to have the Stormers players then in the finals on the Xbox side and in the PlayStation side. It's been running for a few months now, and we're looking forward to see who those finalists are, at least who the winners are, over the next few days. Very exciting stuff. Esports, of course, one of the future dimensions of sport globally. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from a break, we'll carry on talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby and Western Province Rugby. Back in a sec.